we have some information from ICE, and it's quite troubling, definitely in my opinion. It says ICE data shows half of immigrants arrested in raids had traffic convictions or no record. So the tricky thing here is that a lot of people call these people criminals when they've driven without a license. What kind of like a detrimental crime is that towards your citizenship, which he doesn't have in that case? But that's clearly something that you can't do without being deported. So it's almost a guarantee that does not directly cause violence towards someone else or cause harm to someone else. Now, of course, you should have a license, but if you're in a position where it's literally impossible to get it without being deported to another country, where either the economy is shit or the place is in terrible condition. But okay, let's start reading into this. So it says about half of the 675 immigrants picked up in the roundups across the United States. Can you believe that? Roundups. They use the word roundups. What does this sound like to you? Does it sound like Germany to you at all? Where they're going around raiding places? You guys remember the Green Police? We're raiding places now? Oh my god. This is roundups across the United States in the days after President Trump took office either had no criminal convictions or had committed traffic offenses, mostly drunken driving, as their most serious crimes, according to data obtained by the Washington Post. Records provided by congressional aides Friday offered the most detailed look yet at the backgrounds of individuals rounded up and targeted for deportation in early February by Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents assigned to regional offices in Los Angeles, Chicago, Atlanta, San Antonio, and New York. 2 people have been convicted of homicide, so 2 out of 675. You got 80 with assault and 57 with convictions for, quote, dangerous drugs. Those people should all be deported 100%. No doubt there. Okay, you can't come in and commit crimes that are directly causing harm to others and are not simply a byproduct of something like not driving without a license. The largest single group, 163 immigrants convicted of traffic offenses, was mentioned only briefly. Over 90% of those cases involved drunk driving, I said Friday. Of those taken into custody in the raids, 177 had no criminal convictions at all. Those 66 had charges pending, largely immigration or traffic offenses. The raids were part of a nationwide immigration roundup. Again, roundup. Dubbed Operation Crosscheck, which accounts for a small portion of the blah 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 blah. Okay, so this thing of here's what I think should happen. Everybody in the U.S. who's an immigrant should be given amnesty right away. The border, I don't see it as a problem because we have a net loss of Mexican immigrants in the country. So more people are leaving our country than coming in. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? Plus, are you going to, when you start deporting that, there's what, like 10 million people, I think? Probably more. Is your plan then to use the Gestapo tactics of sending them 10 fucking million people? What are you going to do? Take them all in cars, in trains? What are you going to do? The plane? I don't even know what to tell you. This is so stupid. Plus, how can we not be like so humane as people? Let's just look in the past, all right? Let's look in the past, right? The Native Americans, we come in and literally evict them from their land. There's no question about that. The Trail of Tears, you got the massive drop in population, the passage of diseases on purpose, the systematic killing, which Hitler actually used as a model for his genocide. That is the one thing, right? So everybody in this country right now, unless you're a Native American, you're an immigrant. An immigrant is the key word, okay? You're an immigrant right off the bat. So is it legal for you to come in and kill the people who are in here, or not even kill, just evict them from their land? Is that legal? Are you a legal immigrant to do that? Unfortunately, I don't. There was no international law at the time, but there is now. So, unfortunately, in the application of the law during that time, it wasn't. But let's think of common sense. Is it Is it worse that people came here, killed, evicted the indigenous people of their land, and then they took it over? Okay? The Native American population got destroyed, man. I mean, the genocide was bonkers. So, you have that take place. They're all gone. Which is worse? Immigrants coming in and committing crimes like driving without a fucking license, or people coming in, evicting, literally moving people off of the places that they want and killing them for their land. Which one? One is immigration that is, quote, legal. The other is an immigration that's considered, quote, illegal. Okay? That Mexican who comes in is not harming anybody. I don't understand this whole thing. Like, if you can tell me how you're harmed, and again, this is all going to come down to the jobs thing, right? If your job is so replaceable that some dude who hops a fence or overstays a visa or whatever can take your job and do it for less money, I think the question you should be asking is, why the fuck is my job so replaceable? Because that's the heart of the problem. Because whether you like it or not, the corporations are going to be able to get those deals where they outsource their jobs, regardless of whatever you think. So the question you should be asking yourself is, holy shit, why is my job so easy to do? Why do I have no education? Why do I not have a better job? Okay, you have the easy opportunity to go to community college, go to college, get an education, get a job. They do not. They are fleeing the same shit that the Irish fled when they came here. The Irish were facing a potato famine. In Mexico, there's huge drug cartel violence, massive corruption from the drug cartels in the government. And, you know, the right claims to be this, you know, Jesus-like, Christian-like wing. It's the total opposite in this case, right? And I don't even know if Trumpists claim to be like this, but it's mostly Trumpists who are anti-immigrant. And I've never understood this, right? Because if you're not a jackass who hasn't read history, anti-immigrant rhetoric has applied to every fucking person who's immigrated here in the history of immigration. The Europeans who first came here, they fucking hated the Irish who were coming here. The Irish hated the Chinese that were coming here. And then the Chinese hated the blacks. Well, I don't know about the Chinese hating the blacks, but the blacks were hated by the Irish, so let's say that. And then you got now the Mexicans being hated by everybody. I don't get it. Like, read history. Again, I don't understand how your job or your livelihood could be affected by one of these immigrants. They're just trying to work their ass off to make a better life for their kids and their parents. Now, if you're committing crimes, get the fuck out of here. Assault, all this other shit, get the fuck out of here. You can't just come in here and do that shit. We don't want you here. There's no point of that. But, you know, with the fact that there's a negative amount of Mexican immigrants per year, influx-wise, there's more people leaving than coming in. 40% or more overstay visas, but that's not Mexican immigrants, so that's immigrants all over the world. This country has been built by immigrants ever since the Irish came, ever since the Chinese came, ever since the African Americans unfortunately were forced to come here. This country is built on immigrants, okay? And for, you know, this nativism, and I've seen this, like, I saw this one black dude on Twitter, like, this Trump supporter, this black Trump supporter, like, oh yeah, get him out of my country. Motherfucker, the KKK was founded to get you out of the country because they were afraid if you were gonna steal their jobs. What job is there to steal, dude, if you're working for such small labor that it can be replaced? Excuse me. When it can be replaced, you need to solve that. But moreover, even with that nuance, I still think that there should be legislation that forces the minimum wage to be $15 an hour. That $15 an hour minimum wage would solve that problem as well, which is something else that people don't realize. So everybody would be mandated to pay $15 an hour. But I don't understand the xenophobia. I don't understand this anti-immigrant rhetoric. I just don't get it. I've never had any effect on anybody that I know because of immigrants, especially because a lot of my family were refugees. So this nativism, right, and this white nationalism and all this shit, it needs to go away. It's pointless. We look at history, we see it. Anti-immigrant, 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 regardless of the fact that that's how we have the United States of America as the best economy, the richest country in the history of the world, the biggest standing army, the greatest country on earth. This whole thing is crazy. What's up, guys? It's Saul Hill here. You guys are watching The Progressive Voice. Make sure you guys click subscribe down below. We're fighting Donald Trump tooth and nail, and we need your help.